Welcome to William Penn News Now for February 1st, 2016. I'm Tyler Hafner. Well, the students at William Penn University are almost through their first month of the spring semester, and with that comes the annual spring convocation. This year's speaker, Peter Clay, was introduced by Penn student Niagana, a native of Rwanda. Clay is a prominent Quaker and Earth activist with an undergraduate degree in biology. He has traveled to Rwanda many times and continues to share his love of wildlife conservation. During the Rwandan Civil War, Clay continued to support the conservation and protection of mountain gorillas. Clay left the students with this thought.
With the final line from Mary Oliver's beloved poem, The Summer Day. Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Thank you.
William Penn is grateful to anyone that is able to talk to students about real-world issues and experiences. Well, Hillary Clinton visited a packed Smoky Row coffee shop Monday, January 25th. Clinton, along with many other candidates, made an appearance in Oskaloosa just in time for the Iowa caucuses. WPNN's Sergio Caro and Demi Kurza has the story.
With the Iowa caucuses just a week away, presidential candidates have made stops all over Iowa in hopes of gaining last-minute votes. Hillary Clinton visited Oskaloosa and spoke about her views and beliefs at Smoky Row. And although it was cold and snowing, Oskaloosa residents came out to show their support for her campaign. Secretary Clinton touched on several topics during her speech, but her discussion on equal pay captivated the audience.
One, we have to enforce the laws we currently have. We have the Equal Pay Act, but we're not paying enough attention as to how to enforce it. And we need to have a public information campaign so both employers and women know what their rights are.
After the recent meetings on climate change in Paris, it seemed fitting that Secretary Clinton mention her views on the matter as well.
They all say the same thing. They say, well, I don't know, I'm not a scientist. And my answer is the same. We'll go talk to a scientist, actually listen to a scientist, learn from a scientist.
This was one of Secretary Clinton's many stops in Iowa and was well received with nearly 200 people showing up. After her speech, Secretary Clinton stayed to answer questions and met with several supporters to take pictures and sign autographs. For WPNN, I'm Demi Kurza.
Well, this has been some of the most interesting campaigning by candidates that William Penn students have been fortunate enough to witness. To view results of the caucuses, visit www.statesmanstatus.com. William Penn digital communications student Lauren Abbas had the opportunity to interview with Democratic hopeful Bernie Sanders after he spoke at the Leaders Speak series at Penn. Here's a first look at what he had to say.
Could you explain to me more about your free public college tuition program and how it would affect foreign students on student visas and student athletes on scholarship at public colleges?
Well, what it would very simply do is say to students in a given state that tuition would be free for them in their own state universities and state colleges. That's what it would do.
Okay.
Simple.
With the presidential campaigns underway, candidates are addressing the issues in America like the reoccurring themes of gun control, healthcare, and national security. For college students, the question that they want answered is, will they be employed after they graduate? For those students, the best time to start looking for ways to enter their career path is while they're still students. They can do this by volunteer work or internships. WPNN was able to get key tips from William Penn University's Career Service Coordinator, Debbie Stevens, as she told us about the importance of internships to employers and the internships available on campus and in the Oskaloosa area.
It's more likely that you will get hired with that. In fact, about 60 to 70% of employers say if they see an internship or co-op experience on your resume, they are more likely to interview you and hire you. So, and that's a national survey that's been done, and it's done about every year. So, and then it hasn't changed. It's a very key issue with employers.
To find out more, contact Debbie Stevens at 641-673-2173 or email her at stevensde@wmpenn.edu. To view the full interview, visit the William Penn Digicom website. Could you go for some Tasso's Steakhouse right now? Unfortunately, if you live on William Penn's campus, Tasso's will no longer deliver to students, but students are encouraged to visit the restaurants as often as possible and are welcome at any time. However, this does not apply to Penn faculty or staff. For any concerns or questions, you can stop by Levi Tarbell's office located in the PAC. If you can afford the newest must-have, a hoverboard, then you are out of luck. Recent findings have associated falls and fires caused by recharging with hoverboards. In light of these concerns, William Penn University issued a policy that hoverboards will not be allowed to be used in campus buildings and residence halls. This policy will be in effect for the remainder of the 2015-16 academic year, and going forward will be in the student handbook. The price for violating this policy is a $100 fine and confiscation of the device. Should there be any fire or injury involving a hoverboard, the liability will be assigned to the owner. Well, the Winter Drumline has been resurrected from a 3-year slumber and is preparing for their first performance in a few weeks. WPNN's David Travis has more.
Winter Drumline is back after a 3-year hiatus and at their new spot at Memorial Hall on the Vennard campus in University Park, where high expectations for the newly put together Drumline are met with vigorous practice and understanding of the music. Band director Terry DeYoung has this to say about the newly put together Winter Drumline.
Did get kind of an overwhelming interest from some of the other band members. You know, within our program, we allow students to play other instruments, get involved in other things, and right now our entire bass line is made up of non-drummers. You know, to speak of, their trombone players or sax players, and it's just something they can get in and enjoy.
With players from all over the band joining the Winter Drumline, teamwork is necessary and needed from everyone to make practice possible. No one understands the teamwork needed for the drumline more than new GA Dion Nelson that was brung in to help the band.
Honestly, being a GA and being in the drumline is kind of unique. Like coming out here for my master's or whatnot and working with the band, I didn't think that I would actually be playing. I thought that I'd be more so like just instructing them, but actually getting to the opportunity to play with the drummers and the percussion section has actually developed a unique connection and relationship with the players here. So I'm fond of playing with the section. I actually like it.
The Winter Drumline will have their first performance in a couple weeks in Penn Gymnasium. From Professor Wagner's class, I'm David Travis.
The men's and women's basketball teams had their annual Coaches vs. Cancer game on Wednesday night and were decked out in pink to show their support for the cause. WPNN's David Travis has the highlights.
It's Coaches vs. Cancer night, and the fans fill the gym with pink to show support, as do players and coaches. Let's jump straight into the second half, and ball movement from Penn leads to a fadeaway shot from junior Jarvis Haywood for 2. Then later, 3 minutes into the half, it's senior Stephen Roundtree going up, and he can't get it down, but teammate senior Brady Burford picks him up and puts the bucket in. Penn's up 55-47. But the Vikings aren't going out like that, as big man number 44, Ravel Burton, comes to play and puts his pits in the rim, sparking his squad to cut the deficit. Then with little over 5 minutes left in the game, coming off the pick, Kyle Hickory wets the net with his Rainbow J with a hand in his face, but Penn still leads 82-70. Coming down to the wire now, and it's Burford again with the break and the slam, putting Penn up 99-88. On the next possession, with time winding down, Penn breaks the full court press and finds an open Burford for the dunk to close the game. Burford had 14 points on the night. Penn would go on to win 102-92. CRI caught up with Coach Henry after the game for a few words.
That's a good basketball team we beat tonight. 10-10 record that they brought here. I think they're better than that. 44 is fantastic. We did a really good job on that number 12 tonight. But then 5 comes in and has like 23, 25. They just wouldn't go away either. We'd get up 14 or 15, and I thought it was pretty much going to be a done deal, but they would not quit. Coach Lance did a really nice job of mixing up his defenses, and then he mixed up his trapping and his pressing there late. And that's something that we're normally pretty good at, but tonight, for whatever reason, dribbling off our foot, falling down, overpassing, but had enough firepower to win.
This week, both teams will be taking on Grandview for their annual toilet paper game. This game will be on Wednesday, February 3rd, with tip-off set for 5:30 for the women's game and 7:30 for the men. Don't forget your TP. William Penn University's most recent track star, Tara Alexander, competed at the Central Dutch Athletics Classic on Saturday and found herself in the history books by breaking a record that stood nearly 30 years. Alexander broke her second school mark of the season by beating the recent 1,000-meter mark of 3 minutes, 13.67 seconds. The senior managed to win the event by taking down a 1,000-meter run mark that stood since 1988. Alexander ran a time 3 minutes, 3:08.34, which put her more than 3 seconds ahead of the runner-up. Good luck to the track team that travels to Grinnell this Saturday to compete in the Grinnell Invitational. Well, thanks for watching William Penn News Now. From the students at William Penn University's Digital Communication program, have a great day.